So yeah, I apologize for that. Forget to unmute. Yeah, hello everyone. I'm just like excited, like Cuphead races, like that's what we like. We love those races that we saw yesterday between those two were really insane, I have to say. And we're gonna get a third race, and of course later we have the final. So we are approaching the finale of the weekly races. So yeah, to make people understand how the category selection happens for race 3, because Calabar lost race 2, he chose 3 categories from the existing pool, and what I think he picked, I'm not sure, but I believe he picked all bosses current patch, low percent, and one gun roundabout. These are like the 3 categories that I feel like Calabar has a little bit of an edge over Jason. But at the same time, the one gun roundabout category is a question mark for both runners, right? And it's a category that has not really been optimized that well in general. So that's what I believe, why I believe Jason picked this category, because he has a chance to actually make a difference in this race. Yeah, I've seen Jason actually practice before the race. He has been getting it extremely consistent as well. So I'm not really surprised if he gets it like second or even third try. First try might be a little bit more like difficult to do so, but we'll see as both of them are on the tutorial. One gun roundabout, they are not allowed to use the. Oh, and now he's having trouble. So I guess commentator's curse, I suppose. He has a clip though, so Calabar is a little bit far behind now because of that. That usually happens in the one gun roundabout categories. Yeah, he's getting to the point that it's not faster, and he's actually, that technique using is like the more consistent to do so, but he's actually failing to do something, which is jump a bit higher. He's not jumping high enough. This is like a technique that I found to get it more consistent if you're not familiar with the dashes. And you can see now he's losing a lot of time because of that. Nice. Yeah, indeed. You saw Calabar got it, but he actually managed to jump a bit higher, as I said. You have to make sure that you land in a specific way so that Cuphead will not make his landing animation, and then you immediately make the clip. It's a little bit more like on a difficult side, I guess, of things. As Jason is done with the root pack, and he had a really good time as well on root pack. 46, really a great time for this one. So yeah, now Jason has a significant lead. Roundabout category, I believe, will be decided by one boss, I have to say, because the rest of the bosses are kind of difficult because, in Cuphead the bosses are difficult, but the dragon specifically is kind of random for this one, because what you'll see, and you'll see later what is going to happen, the roundabout will probably mess up some of the dragon's attacks, and you might not be able to dodge. But yeah, these two runners are really experienced, so I don't really believe that they will have difficulty for like the rest of the run. It's a really fun category, I have to say. From the one-gun categories that I've tried so far, Roundabout is by far my favorite one. It's a really safe weapon to use because you can make like dodge while looking away from the boss and still make your shots connect. But at the same time, I believe they, you can deal a lot of damage if you play well because you can create traps or swing roundabout X's and stuff. Oh, I believe Mr. D, your microphone is not working according to chat.
Oh
Yeah, I
man,
believe.
I pulled
Yeah.
a dino. I mean, I'm sure that people can't hear me to me now, but that's a classic for me. I'm always like talking on stream, and then they are like, "Yeah, dude, you have your mic on mute," and that was like the case right now. So hopefully, people was able to
Yeah.
kind of imagine what I was talking about because of your answers. So good morning again, people. What's up?
Hello, Mr. Dino. Welcome back. So yeah, Dino put a dino right here, as he usually has his microphone muted in his streams. So that's a funny thing, I guess, that happens. It's fun. It's what pretty much describes, I would say, these weekly races so far. I think that the runners overall have been extremely, they were looking forward to the races, and yeah, we're really glad to create all those racing environments, I guess.
Yep.
As both of them, by the way, are doing a really good job in the boss fight. Caliber had a little bit of trouble with root back, so he didn't really get that competitive time. But right now he's having a fairly decent Ruby and Crooks fight.
Yeah, I believe, I don't know why, but I think that you could use some of the low percent strats here. I sometimes feel that Roundabout is like pea shooter or Nesteroids.
Yeah, pretty much, I guess. The only difference, of course, is the range, I guess. Pea shooter has like a longer range, but at the same time, Roundabout is more flexible, I think.
Yeah, and you can kind of stack roundabout shoots in between like transitions and stuff like that.
Yeah, the roundabout traps. Like for example, you can see Goopy is one of the boss fights that in low percent it causes a lot of trouble to make sure you connect everything. But because of the utility that roundabout brings to the table, you can just like shoot it and it will return as a boomerang, right? As Jason right now on Hildaberg, the most exciting fight for us commentators to talk about simply because you just do the same stuff over and over again. And I think I've done close to 50 races of commentary. I think I've said the same stuff 50 times for Hildaberg.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that pain from you this time. Pretty much Hilda is the same fight like in every category of Cuphead. Even for Legacy you do like a similar stuff that what Jason is doing right now. So you take 2 damage boosts to be able to throw an EX while Hilda is going from left to right. And from there you just try to land as many shoots as possible. Like Tusi usually says, like in the flying sections, it's really important to like try to land as many shoots as possible during the whole fight, and EX management is also pretty important. We can see that they're gonna be using EX pretty much at the same time on the same place of the fight. And well, we'll see what time does Jason get. He did skip the second transformation of Hilda, so but the moon looked a little bit slow, so I think we're looking for like something between 113 and 115, but we'll see. Usually you want to get something like 110 and below. The 112.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, 112. It wasn't like the cleanest fight. You can see like he wants to dodge a little bit. Make sure that the SARS will not kill him. Like in races, survivability is like the most important thing, of course. But if you stick to your plan, you'll have a relatively good time as well in the end. So right now, Jason is going to fight Cagney Carnation, and I believe that Cagney is a really amazing fight to fight with Roundabout. It is extremely pleasing to fight with Roundabout, I would say.
Yeah.
Those swings with the EX, like making that EX like swing, as you can see Jason like jumping above, is something really cool that you can do, and it's extremely easy to do with Cagney.
For a little change, because I don't know, Cagney is one of the bosses that I usually don't like in a lot of categories. Just because that bullet rain attack that it does, it's just super weird sometimes, and I believe there are like some specific patterns that you should know, like depending on where the first bullet lands. I think like it's the same pattern after that, but I'm not
Uh,
super happy with Cagney most of the time.
yeah, he's a bit weird sometimes. I do have to say that.
Yeah, in this category you kinda dance to the music, to the rhythm behind Cagney.
Yeah, it makes it like a little bit easier, as I mentioned earlier. That utility that roundabout brings, that it swings around. Uh, it makes it a bit easier to um, dodge the attacks, I guess, and still hit the boss. So Jason now is going to move on to the Isle 2. He's going to be the first one to do so, and he's going to fight Beppy. Now, despite the fact that Caliber had a horrendous tutorial, he's not that far behind, I have to say.
No, and I mean on this category, a lot of the runs most, I mean a lot of bosses won't have like a lot of trouble. However, there's the infamous Green Matchstick fight on this category as well, where you can do it like fast and super risky, or you can do it like slow but safe. So we'll see how they go. Like maybe I think if Caleva, I don't know if he's watching the restream or not. If he's watching, he's gonna probably go super risky. I mean, and we know that Jason usually likes to go risky. So I think Green Matchstick is gonna be a really important point in this race.
Yeah, it definitely will be. So just right now for Beppy, there are like a couple of things that I need to mention about Beppy. If you do get the green horse, of course, you one cycle it. I believe it might be possible to one cycle the green horse with roundabout, but it's gonna be extremely tight. I'm not 100% sure about that. But what I do know is that there is a small chance to get the Beppy glitch with roundabout. I've actually got it once in like 1,000 attempts that I was doing for absolutely no reason. I just like want to get the glitch, and yeah,
To say that you do it, you can
yeah,
brag about it now.
yeah, exactly. To add something in commentary.
So when's the Beppy glitch with Pea Shooter?
That is something that I will leave Luigi and Nesbitt will do. I would.
Luigi and Wolf territory only.
Yeah. It's 114 for Jason on Beppy. It's actually a really good time. If you do get the one cycle, you usually get like a 1-9, 1-10, I would say, on the horses.
Yeah,
so,
they both
one
got battle energy right there.
Yeah, exactly. So they're gonna have pretty much the same time loss, which is like minor, but at this point, every single bit matters.
We're gonna be seeing Jason here throwing the EX attacks at the columns. That actually does more damage, right?
Yeah, it does. It was something that I wasn't sure whether it was worth it or not in the current patch, because you value the nukes, but people found like ways, and they think that it's better. So people that are playing in the current patch usually know better than me. So I trust them, to be honest.
Yeah. And usually in this phase that Jason is right now, in the Pinocchio phase, you get a lot of EX here. So normally they're gonna be trying to get a 5 EX nuke right now, throw it at Pinocchio, but it trolled it with the pink bullet right there.
Yeah,
And
Pinocchio can be like that.
and if you have 2 HP here for the genie at the last phase, normally you should be fine. I like to stay like in the bottom right corner when I have 2 HP, and I can't even close my eyes and you're gonna defeat the genie without like any trouble at all.
Yeah, exactly. You can even like face tank the pyramid if it does the attack. It's like a really like easy boss fight, I would say. You just have to be careful in the Pinocchio phase, and probably in the first phase as well, depending on the pattern. There were like some like techniques that we found, like with the weapon swapping on airplanes and still using the weapon while you shoot an EX. That is like probably a reason why they use the EX on the pillar's face.
Mm.
But I do have to say something now. On the Barnes Bonbon, Roundabout is actually one of the guns that is insanely good.
Yeah.
While I was doing practice for this category, for the weekly races, I actually managed to pull a time of 48 seconds, which is something that you can barely do in the all bosses category while you use spread and P-shooter, which is like the optimal, I guess, loadout for the all bosses category. So with just Roundabout being able to pull out a 48 is, I believe, really amazing. It depends on RNG, of course, and yeah, what can you do about that? Barnes has really bad RNG sometimes.
Yeah, it definitely is pretty good because I think, again, like you said, because of its utility, the way that it goes back and hits like a lot of stuff that it missed. So sometimes when you have weird angles and most of your shoots don't hit on the very first time, they might hit on their way back. And
Exactly.
with that, combined with the super good damage that the Roundabout has, like you said, I think Baroness Momomon is a pretty good fight for Roundabout where you can actually avoid some of the random stuff that happens and still do a lot of damage. And you can do the trap like Caliva is doing right now and like Jason did a moment ago, and that stacks a lot of hits. You can see like that corn candy just receive a lot of damage just on its way out. So what do you have to say about Wally Werbles that you haven't said, like you said 50 times like with Hilda?
Well, Wally Warbles is a boss that really depends on EX management, simply because you have
Because
to
it's
parry.
flying.
Yeah, it's a airplane boss. In current facts, of course, you have to parry specific things to have a nuke at the specific timing. That's Cuphead in the current facts, in a nutshell. You'll see everything is calculated, so he has the nuke right now to gain those items and does those eggs. And a really interesting thing I added for a couple months, for a month now, is that pause buffer strat. When the little bird dies, you can pause and then immediately trigger the last phase of Wally.
So that was a clutch parry. I was scared there for a moment. That bullet was coming from behind and he was able to parry it on time. If that would have hit, man, we would have been like super tight right now. But still, like you said, like Caliva is actually doing a pretty good race considering all the time that he took longer than Jason at the training room. He's quite close right now. Like Jason, if he gets a little mistake in one of the bosses, I don't know, man. This could get like super close.
And this is the important part of the run. He's gonna fight Green Matchstick, and let's see how it goes. Caliva is fighting Wally Warbles, and it's probably one of the best fights that Caliva has in his arsenal, I have to say. He was like one of the first to actually get sub 1 minute in the all bosses category on Wally. Now, Green Matchstick, first phase is actually not that bad with Roundabout, like any other gun. All you have to do is just like be patient and wait for the right cloud RNG, I guess. Make sure to dodge all the attacks. That hit might be a bit troublesome there for Jason, because the last phase is like really difficult.
Yeah, you really want your 3 HP for the last phase when you're using Roundabout. At least if you want to go risky. So the reason why the third phase for Green Magic is super like risky with Roundabout is because, you know, the Roundabout shoot goes a little bit higher when you shoot it like backwards. And on its way back it goes a little bit higher, and you pretty much have no control on it on when Green Magic is gonna be firing at you. And whenever you break those fires because of damage, they break into 4 like that, and that's when things get complicated to actually avoid. But so far Jason is doing a good job right now, keeping the damage going and avoiding those shoots properly.
He actually missed a couple of shots, but to be fair, it's like really difficult because you have to really focus on dodging. So I don't blame him, but yeah, he definitely like missed a couple of shots. He gets the knockout though, which is like really impressive. Without getting hit as well.
And Caleb is already here as well, so let's see. It was at 125 with Jason. I want to see if Caleb cuts a little bit of time, because I know that was not the best fight of Dragon. I think Caleb could cut a little bit of time on this fight as well.
Yeah, he actually saved 6 seconds on Wally Warbles. He got an insane 1 minute Wally Warble with only P shooter, to mention as well. So as I said, like Calabar knows how to fight Wally extremely well. And he's doing a good job as well on the Dragon, I feel like. No damage so far. He's using those EXs to destroy like that second phase quickly. And now it's all about that.
Yeah, and I like how when he was like jumping to avoid stuff, he was doing like the diagonal up roundabout, which also comes back and hits Green Matchstick right there. I think so far he's having a little bit of a cleaner fight than Jason. So yeah, definitely. So let's see what was the time here, because I think he cut another considerable amount of time right now with Green Matchstick.
Yes.
And little by little.
110, I believe. No, 116. Okay.
116.
90 seconds. Save.
9 seconds is like a really, really good amount of time if he wants to come back on this race. So let's see what happens here on Island 3. I believe here on Island 3, maybe Ruby Honey Bottoms. Well, Ruby is not that bad with Roundabout. But yeah. Briny Bird might be a little bit troublesome depending on the RNG that it gives, like it always does.
Yeah, Briny Bird, I guess. There are like ways that with Roundabout it, you can actually hit with that EX multiple times. You'll see the runners do that. I don't necessarily think that IL3 has any difficult boss fight in my opinion with Roundabout. It's just like the optimizations, like how much damage you'll do.
Yeah, because even Phantom Express seems like a pretty good boss for Roundabout.
Oh yeah, definitely. So you can even one cycle the last phase with the Roundabout, which is like kind of difficult, but it is possible, definitely. Jason gets a 106 here in B. Really respective, really great time, I'd say. Kalava is right there as well, not that far behind. I need to mention as well that the loading times are a little bit... I'm not sure. I think Jason might have like slightly better load times. So even though it might look that it's not, he might have like a really great lead. I believe it's actually even closer, to be honest. As he's fighting now Dr. Class Robot, and Calavan gets the knockout before the airplane transformation. Pretty nice. Dr. 59 there. Like you can see that I believe saved in every single boss fight. He saved a little bit of time, other than Root Pack probably and Beppy, if I'm not mistaken. He managed like to get a lot of like new time saves and big time saves, like in both, for example, Rumor, Honey Bottoms and Dragon, the last two fights. He managed to recover like 16 seconds compared to Jason, if I'm not, math?
Yeah,
16 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, we can see here Dr. Call as well. And let's see what happens here. Jason having a good fight, like a pretty textbook fight right here. And I don't know, Dr. Call is one fight that I actually really enjoy for some reason. I think it looks pretty cool that you avoid a lot of stuff here. I mean, it's not complicated once you know what you're doing, but it can always caught you off guard if you want to do like super fast or risky strats, especially during the bullet hail and the little like shields that he's throwing at you.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can do like damage boost to just keep shooting at them, but might be a little bit risky because those bullet hails sometimes can put you in like super weird positions to be able to keep avoiding.
So yeah, usually the strats, you usually do like one nuke, as you can see, and then from now on, I believe you can actually damage boost through the last pillars, if I'm not mistaken, and Dr. Carl will be dead. Like you'll see, he won't do the second damage. Oh, he didn't even have to do that. That was like really fast fight for Kaleva.
Yeah.
And really fast fight as well for Jason. It was like a 1 minute fight and a 59 fight. Like both of them had a really impressive time. And he's slowly catching up, I have to say. Jason on Sally stage play second phase. You'll see those roundabout EXs get stuck right there on the head of Sally stage play. I believe she has like some kind of a weird hitbox, so that roundabout X gets stuck there. As he's on 1 HP, so he has to dodge the big wave. So let's see, he does that by using the meteor. That's another like little bit of time loss, which it might not be that major, but you know, for a race and especially a really close race like this, it might be a little bit major.
Yeah, you could see that also here in the umbrella, he took his time to actually avoid the umbrella and the roses. And it was kind of a long, like, last phase there for Shelly's stage play. He couldn't do more than that because he didn't. I mean, it was faster than dying for sure. But yeah, if Calabat doesn't get hit that many times, we might see a little bit of a cut time again in Sally.
Yeah, 118 is definitely a good time because he had, I believe he had good first and second phase. The third and fourth phase were not that good. But we'll see how this goes compared to Kaleba at least. So far he's looking like really healthy. 4 reactions to make sure that that last phase will not be that long. I believe he's gonna get a really clean fight, yeah. Yeah, according to someone in chat, Jason lost 16 seconds in that one. And you can see, compared to Kaleba, he lost 15 seconds.
Yeah, so probably Jason also on his splits has something closer to a 1 minute fight. And this was like more closer to like 120.
Yeah. Now, Verma fight is one of the weird fights, I would say, in Cuphead, because in Legacy it's one, but the current patch it can be a little bit tricky. The reason behind that is, of course, the second phase being a little bit longer, and that makes things a little bit more complicated, I have to say. Roundabout is one of the guns that I believe makes Werner like a relatively easier fight because, as you can see, for example, Calaba's strat is actually hanging the wall and dodging everything.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, he's just like on the corner completely opposite to Werner Werman and still doing a lot of damage and just being there, shielding, avoiding everything, like if it was an L1 boss.
Yep. I believe he like lost a couple of shots because of that strat, but it's like a little bit of time loss. Like you'll see compared to Jason, who I believe he played a little bit more aggressive. He might like lose a little bit of time. And yeah, Jason's gonna move on to Captain Briny the fight that you mentioned. That is kind of complicated in IL3 depending on the RNG. And you'll see the technique that I was talking about, that you can actually swing that roundabout right there in the front. It's like a really cool thing that you can do, just like with some jumps, because you're already gonna do the jumps. And 105, he only lost like 1 second compared to Jason Verman.
Alright, so far Jason getting like half and half on the RNG luck. The octopus shotgun first and then the shark and then another shark. This is looking like a good briny bird for Jason right now.
Yeah, one problem from like optimal fight, I guess, was the fact that he swing those roundabout X's that much, so he didn't really gain that. He didn't really do that much damage. Another great thing that roundabout brings to the table is, of course, the possibility to one cycle the last phase, and you can see Jason did that. Exact same thing.
And that one cycle didn't even look that hard. It's pretty much just keep shooting and you're gonna kill it.
Exactly. 46 seconds fight, which is something that people in the All Bosses current patch really would like to see all the time. And you can see the technique that I was talking about, the swings. Kaleva is doing that, and he's getting a really fast fight right now. He's already gonna skip like the last phase. 3 cycle. I believe this Jason had the same pretty much, so the times will be very similar.
Yep.
Wow, I think Kaleva actually had a fantastic Briny Beer fight.
Yeah, it looked pretty fast. I didn't look at what was Jason's time, but 51 is definitely pretty good on Kaleva's side.
And Jason was actually faster on that one.
Oh, really?
I guess wow. RNG patterns, probably. RNG patterns, probably. Yeah. At least, like, both got the 1 cycle. Yeah, so I guess some specific patterns take longer.
So right now, Calamaria, it's the last flying section. I'm pretty sure the chat can help us now with comments on what needs to happen in Calamaria fight, since it's another flying section. You gotta resist to see that there might be still 3 more complete flying
Yeah.
sections coming up. 'Cause
I'm not gonna say. I'm not
don't,
gonna say.
don't forget everybody that we're gonna be having the grand finals of the tournament after the third place match. So stay tuned. Luigi versus Wolf after the third place match.
Exactly. And to return to this amazing third place race, Jason had a 110 Calamari fight. He did pretty much everything correct, but like a lot of bosses in the current patch, I feel like RNG determines what time you'll get in the end. So he didn't really get that great of a fight. Excalibur, by the way, does a really interesting damage boost to actually gain those iframes, and that's a petrifying case. Really cool technique. I believe he had slightly better RNG, so he might get like a few. By me mistaken, though. As one player gets a wallop ready for a fight, the other player gets a knockout. This race is extremely close. 109, just 1 second faster than Jason. Jason right now had a little bit of like difficulty, I guess, dodging film attacks in that first phase. He does have like a lot of free X's right now, so there is like a small possibility that he might get like 2 cycle, but I think he used a lot of free X's, so probably he won't get it now. Let's see. I think it's possible, if I'm not mistaken. It's been like a while since I played this. I think it's possible, but it's like kind of difficult to do so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it can be possible, like because of the damage of the roundabout. But like you said, you might need to have like the 5EX or closer to 5, like Aliva is doing right now. Let's see if he can like manage to do it. Like he does some, like you could see some weird angles there, like to kill the pumpkin before it spawned right there. So I believe Caliva practiced this a lot, and he didn't get it.
Yeah, and at the same time, Jason right now is on 1 HP on that last phase, and he didn't really have that fast of a twin phase. So let's see how this goes. This is like a technique that we are using in Legacy, where you can buffer some shots there in the corner.
We saw there Jason taking his time to avoid the fire because some of them were like very, very dangerous right there. Oh, and it's gonna be a three phases, 3 cycle, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, this is definitely some. He did the right thing, I believe, played it a little bit safe. But you know, if Caliber, for example, plays it extremely well, he might actually get a 1 cycle.
And oh, that was pretty close, I think.
Let's see how many
shots.
shots.
It was like 3 shoots, I think.
Three shots away from 1 cycle, and that actually puts Caliber even closer to Jason. This is a really, really close race.
Yeah, they're gonna be starting the King Dice just a mere seconds difference right now, and this is a clutch final. Clutch final for the third play. Let's go.
Let's actually go. Can get some hype here for this race from everyone in chat. This is one of the close races that in the beginning it actually looked kind of one-sided because, you know, we felt really bad for that awful tutorial spirit from Kaleva, but he actually manages to catch up with a lot of fantastic fights as well. And they are both on King Dice.
Yeah, outside of the clip, like you said, Kaleva is doing an insane run to catch up here with Jason, which is no easy feat. Jason being like a very, very experienced runner. He's not having that bad fights. He had like a couple, but Kaleva is just having insane fights right now.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that situation where you are left with and you are opting to play safe because you know dying obviously will cost you even more time. And you know at the same time, if Kaleva had those, you know, he had those clean fights, he managed to save time because he had like a lot of HP to spare, so he afforded to play aggressive. And you can see that poker chips fight from Kaleva was insane. He managed to swing those roundabouts so great that even like a second swing on the poker chip connected perfectly, which is like something extremely difficult to do.
Yeah, I was about to say that he did that poker chip way faster than what happened in Jason's side. So man, we might see an ending of King Dice at the same time if this keeps going like this.
Ooh. And now I need to mention something that I saw in the chat that Jason got. Oh, I'll come back to this later because this is a really interesting interaction that happened. Luigi mentioned that Jason has 0 hearts on the board and he got hit in the dominoes, so he's only left with 2 HP for the rest of King Dice fight.
That can a lot of times be a little bit risky because I don't know. I find that the hitbox for the cards at the end, it's a little bit weird sometimes for the parry. You're like super sure that you actually parry on top of them, and you get hit. So Jason's definitely gotta be careful with just 2 HP. He's only got room for like 1 mistake.
Yeah, but I do have to say that he had a really great domino fight, and so far he's Magic 8 Ball. He only like missed like 2 or 3 shots, which is reasonable, despite because you won't get that brown chalk that it will interrupt you. But both of them are just like on the Magic 8 Ball. Like this is a really close race. King Dice himself for Jason, as Calabar is about to get the knockout on Magic 8 Ball. This is, and then they had the Devil, which is a really difficult fight, I have to say, for the current patch. Especially when you don't have a lot of damage. And Roundabout doesn't really offer that big burst of damage, I guess. It makes it like the last phase a little bit easier if you have a lot of EXs. So let's see how this goes.
There he goes. He actually got hit, but it didn't really matter anymore. He got a kill at King Dice right there. And let's see Caliba here. There he goes. A kill. Oh man. Is this gonna come up for like a spider or something like that?
Oh boy, spider RNG. You can see that even in King Dice 4-second time save there for Caliban. He had a really great split as well, I believe. Let's see how this goes. As Jason now enters the demo fight and Caliban is about to do the same thing.
Yeah, like Wolf is saying right now, he's saying commentator scores for the spider. What I like to say, it's the commentator's power. Yeah. I have the ability to determine what's going to happen with the RNG, which is pretty cool. I like that superpower.
Let's see how this goes. Devil fight in the first phase is a difficult one. Jason is doing a really good job so far, and Caliban gets a spider. No.
Oh man.
Caliban with the spider.
Spider troll here.
Yeah, let's see if it's like a long one. It's a long one as well. That feels kind of bad. He managed to pull some good shots though. To be fair, it's like one of those fights that it's not like that bad. If you have like a roundabout, if you have like that specific pattern, I need to say. Because you can store a couple of shots and you can make a little bit of a trap. Jason right now on the third phase and he's doing a really good. Caliban is moving on down there as well. Let's see how this goes. As last phase there for Jason, and he will get the knockout. He gets the knockout. GG to Jason.
GG to Jason indeed. I want to see what's the time without loads.
Yeah. This is.
I'm not gonna call it winner yet.
Yeah, there is like the loadless times that we, take into consideration, but holy moly, this race was super great, I have to say. What a way to end it. And knockout for Caliban as well. GG's, and loadless time winner is Jason. With a loadless time of 34:11.
Against 34-34, it was pretty close, man. It was like just 20 seconds difference.
This race was absolutely insane, I have to say. Like, from the beginning, Caliban struggled so much on that tutorial clip. He was about like 1.5 minutes, I would say, behind Jason just because of that clip. And he managed to close that huge gap with insane fights, I have to say. For those who are asking, longest time was 34:11 for Jason, and Caliber got 34:36, 34:34. Sorry. So that was a difference of 23 seconds between those two runners. So, wow, that was like insane. We'll see if we can bring someone for an interview.
Yeah, let's see if we can get somebody here. It was a pretty intense match. I really enjoyed it. I'm super happy that it went this way for the third place.
Dude, I don't think I would have expected like a better race to end, this series, I guess, this best of three between those two. They both played it really well in the previous two races, and right now they just show that they are really good Cuphead speedrunners as well. It's not just the finals, it's a lot of Cuphead speedrunners who participated are extremely good, and they showed up and they had a fantastic run as well. I believe they're gonna join us for an interview in a short. But yeah, what a race. I'm just still shocked. I still cannot believe how close it was. There were so many moments that, you thought that maybe a comeback might happen. I don't know what to say. As we have Jason joining us right here. Hello, Jason.
Yeah, hi.
And what a race, man. That was probably the best way to end this this series, I have to say.
Yeah, that was intense. Whenever I saw how closely he finished behind me, that was geez. I was having flashbacks going into the Devil, just all the fights I had where I did very poorly. I got the tutorial clip one of my first tries, which was something I struggled on last time I played this category. So I thought I was gonna be smooth sailing from there, and I just had so many bad fights near the end of the run.
Yeah, and I do have to say that you had a really great run overall. I see from the chat you mentioned that you 47 seconds behind your PB, and then at the end you were just a couple of seconds behind your PB. You had really great fights right there at the end.
No, it was the other way around. I was 47 seconds ahead of my PB early on, and then toward the end I lost all that time, and I ended up.
All right. Yeah, I thought the last two segments were great compared to you. Okay, yeah. I mean, it's a minus. All right, never mind.
Yeah, I think at one point I was on. I don't remember what world record is in this category, but I think I was on pace for a 33:07, which would have been close to world record, and then I ended up at a 34 something, so 34:11. I choked away a lot of that time. It's mostly on Phantom. Phantom Express was rough.
Yeah, you struggled in the twin phase, and of course in the last phase. I mean, obviously you were 1 HP, so you want to make sure that you will make it through that fight. Congratulations, man, because you got the third place in the weekly races that we have.
Feels good.
Man, congratulations. How does it feel to race at this time in the morning?
I'm not completely awake yet. I feel more awake than I thought I'd be, but yeah, I feel like I gotta eat breakfast or something soon. I just basically woke up and booted up my PC and practiced a little bit before the race. That was it.
Yeah. Well, guys, this race is not just a one-man show, because other person who put up a fantastic performance is Caliber, and he's here with us. Caliber, GG, man. This was a really good run.
Yeah, GG's. Yeah, I was. Basically, it's kind of sad because only tutorial clip really ruined this run for me.
Yeah.
So I really can't be anything but disappointed. I'm not really that mad if I screw up the run myself. Of course, you can't blame anything but yourself. The tutorial clip, I still don't understand it at all. So.
Yeah, it was a bit of a struggle. You were at that point, I believe, close to a minute and a half behind, and slowly but surely, you were having so many great fights that you closed that gap Like
Mhm.
it was insane to see some of the times that you pulled out. Like that dragon fight, for example, was one of the best fights that I've seen with Roundabout.
Yeah, I actually lost to my PB by that fight, so I don't know. It was decent, I believe. Yeah,
What
like
was the time on the dragon fight?
it was like 1-16, so I think
Okay.
it's a solid fight. I really didn't miss any shots in the final phase and
Nice.
could
Yeah.
play risky and stuff.
That was a really
Yeah.
solid one.
Like, without the tutorial clip, I would have pretty much tied my PB. I think I lost the splits already, so I'm gonna go check it out.
Yeah. So, guys, this was like the last race that you had. Like tournament, I guess, or this event, whatever you want to call it. What are your like final thoughts for this whole experience? Because it's been 3 months that we've been doing this.
Yeah, it's been a fun 3 months, and it really flew by. Even though, like, when you think about it, how many weeks it was that we had the races and the brackets going on, it seems like a long time. I mean, I guess it is. 3 months is a pretty long time, but it just feels like it went by so quickly. And I can't wait till the next time we do something like this. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. Kalaba, do you enjoy your time in the weekly races? I know some categories.
Yeah, like of course, like I didn't really practice some categories that much, and I had some like really clumsy races, but overall it has been fun. Like how this races just gather the community together. It's been great.
Exactly. It is all about like making sure that we make some categories shine a bit, because some
Yeah.
of the categories don't really receive that much attention. Like for example, the category that you guys played only had 1 run, and after like the weekly races, it was like I believe 8 runs or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Which
want to
is-
ask, after the tournament, after like changing category each week, is there any specific category that you guys like that you didn't know it was gonna be that fun?
I mean, low percent ended up being a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. I'm still not that good at low percent, but I had a lot more fun playing it than I thought. I might end up doing some runs with that later just to get better at it, put up a decent time.
Yeah, like for me, definitely, these races really didn't change my opinions on any category. Like I thought the one gun lobber was going to be annoying for some spots, and I knew that one gun roundabout is like, it's pretty easy weapon. Like considering you can play like so many different ways with it, but yeah, I think one gun roundabout has been like my favorite new category that I played during the race. Except the tutorial clip, of course.
I'm still
Yeah.
not quite sure how that works either, Kelly, but I'm in the same boat as you because
Yeah,
I
like-
practiced it a lot, and sometimes I'd get it first try, and sometimes I'd be there for a minute not getting
Yeah.
it. So I don't know. It just seems random. It seems hard to be consistent at.
Yeah, like I've been trying to do different heights of jumps, but I don't like it's so random. It would be really nice to make it consistent. Like actually I got it like half a second tutorials today when I was practicing offline. I mean half a minute tutorials if I said something else. But yeah,
Yeah.
like of course it has to happen during the race. But yeah,
So
It was
yeah,
cool.
with that though, we conclude the third place match, and we coming up in a few minutes we have the big finale. Luigi going up against the Speedy Wolf. You guys, I'm pretty sure you will watch that, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be a really great one, I believe.
Alright, so well, thanks a lot. Congratulations once again to Jason. Well, guys, don't leave and keep tuning in because we're gonna be heading right to the finals in a moment. We'll be setting up. We're gonna have a transition screen, some music. So grab your coffee, grab your breakfast. We're gonna be right back.
See you guys.
All right, take care. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. See you.
It's nice to rest your eyes and maybe go outside. Grab a book and get some air. So what are you waiting for? Why not take a quick break? Tune the radio. There's chores to do, there's leaves to rake. Strum the old banjo. You can practice your Lindy Hop. And maybe later sing with your barbershop. Why not take a little quick break and come back for more? Or then come back for more. Or please come back for more.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the stream. How are you? Are you guys hyped for the grand finals? I am. I am hyped for the grand finals, and I'm gonna be joined here by my good friend Tusi Plus to commentate the grand finals between Multi Luigi and SPD Wolf. How are you guys? How are you, Tusi Plus?
Dude, this is the grand finals of the event that we've been planning for 3 months now. I am excited for this one, and we still, we have two beasts in Cuphead speedrunning, so I'm super excited to see, how they're gonna be, playing racing against each other, because we didn't really have any chance to see them going, heads up, like 1v1. And what a way to start the grand final, because they're gonna be going on the category that they have been grinding for a long time now to get that sub 24, which, well, it would be cool to happen in the race, but it's a race, so we might not see that.
Well, we'll see if somebody can achieve it. Is one of these two here in a live environment?
Definitely.
Definitely. Who knows? We might see a world record tonight in the grand finals, because again, they both have the ability to get world records in almost all the categories. So let's see. So you have any predictions or anything that might happen for this race?
Dude, Legacy, it's a huge question mark, I gotta say, especially this category. The optimizations have been I think this is the most optimized category that we have in Cuphead, and you have to play extremely aggressive. And in a race, that's gonna be really tough. I don't know. They're both skilled, so I just don't have any words to say about this one. Let's see how this goes.
Yeah, my prediction is that we're gonna have an amazing race. That's all I can predict, because otherwise I won't be able to say who's gonna win or anything like that. It would be too risky to say that. So good luck to both.
They are underway. Good luck to
And
both runners.
have fun
indeed.
to the runners, have fun to the viewers. Let's hype it up for the grand finals, everybody.
Clash of the Tasks, as Sparkus mentions in chat. Those two are by far, the best Cuphead speedrunners, I have to say. We had Kalamahera, of course, and Jason, who are insanely good, in other categories as well. These two, though, have proved that, they are amazing in every single category they touch. And interesting thing to say right now, SPD Wolf is the guy who officially, yesterday, got all the all bosses categories, world records, 6 world records in the 6 all bosses categories. So they are starting right now off the bat with the Forest Follies, and they're going to be doing the Echo Machine skip. Right now Luigi got the first ride, so he's going to be Wolf. That will put Wolf 2 seconds behind. The Echo Machine skip is a must if you are playing this Legacy, you're going for the world record. You can see Luigi starts right off the bat with a 33, which is the best time that you can get. It was definitely the cleanest Forest Follies from Luigi.
Yeah, I'm happy that they both got the clip real quick. Even though Wolf took a little bit longer than Luigi, it was still good enough. I wouldn't like to see a race decided by that clip. I mean, it would be hard to say that could decide a race, but it could have definitely caused a lot of trouble for any runner if you didn't get it. They made it look pretty easy, but in reality, it's not that easy, even for experienced runners like them or any other experienced runners. If you see their stream and they're trying anything for this category, you might see a lot of resets in Forest Follies, mainly because of that specific clip.
Exactly, and even these guys, they've done Forest Follies a long time, so they struggle with Forest Follies. It's not the easiest clip to get. Obviously, sometimes if you don't get a good fight, a good time in Forest Follies, you might think about resetting as well. Wolf now with a 30, and I believe 30 for Luigi as well. Both got the same time in route back. I do believe that Luigi was slightly faster though. This category has been pushed that much that I believe that in every there's a little bit of in this category, because in the end all those milliseconds will add up, and it will be a couple of seconds, I guess. And right off the bat, there is a really unfortunate RNG there for SPD Wolf, as he gets the slower pattern in Ruby Encroach. Now, that pattern will actually cost him around 3 seconds, 2.5 to 3 seconds, I have to say. Now, the reason this is like the slower pattern that Wolf got was because of the punches. RNG is like a longer pattern, and the flies is like a shorter. But we found like some you can actually get a really big skip with a flies attack pattern. So with a shorter attack, you can get the skip which you can get even with a slower pattern. So math, I guess you can understand that Luigi will save a couple of seconds. You can already see 2 seconds ahead from that fight.
Yeah, it's super close right now. Heading into Le Grande here. Le Grande, I guess I want to say it's the easiest boss in this category. I mean, I'm not sure, but it's definitely a very, very easy boss. Because once you get it, transforming between the first and second phase, he pretty much, like, you can like freeze it on the same place and it won't move until you kill it. If you do things properly, like we can see here, Wolf is gonna be doing that. He's gonna be doing a lot of damage. He's gonna be dying right there. And oh no, he jumped. That's okay. That's okay. But then the tomb is gonna come and he's gonna pretty much die like that.
Now the thing though is, despite the fact that it like definitely looks easy and stuff, it's really difficult to get the lowest like possible time. You can get a 21 in this one. You can see both of them. I think are the 22. But in order to get that 21, you have to pretty much make sure you connect all of your shots, and that is not the easiest thing when it comes down to Cuphead. So yeah, the All Bosses Legacy category really depends. Like, it's not necessarily about the fights being difficult, more about actually optimizing, like having the optimal fight. So in a lot of situations, they are not really in danger of dying, but they have to make sure that they will they will make sure that they connect every single shot.
Alright, and like I mentioned, we can have potentially 3 more Hildas tonight, so what are your thoughts about this fight, Tusi?
This is the first point in this category that a specific glitch matters a lot. Depending whether one of them gets it and the other doesn't, then that will put the guy who got the glitch ahead by a significant amount of time. The Hilda glitch saves about 8 to 10 seconds, so let's see how this goes. As I believe SPD Wolf didn't really get good RNG. Luigi might get the glitch, if I'm not sure.
I think he got it. He got it.
Luigi got it, by the way. Yeah, that will put Luigi further ahead. He got really good RNG. He got the godlike forest follies, and now he gets the glitch as well on Hilda. So that definitely puts him ahead.
Yeah, and Luigi actually made a very... this is probably not the fastest glitch, he's still gonna save a lot of time though. But you could see, if you were watching Luigi's screen, that he took a little bit longer without shooting before he threw the 5EX, the nuke attack. The reason behind that is because he was waiting for Hilda to do another attack animation, so that she was able to get stuck a little bit longer there and do just enough damage for the glitch to happen. This is a really, really hard glitch to pull off, because even if you know what you're doing, it's a really weird case in Cuphead where you have to do a lot of damage, but just enough to get it, because if you do even more damage than that, then you're gonna completely skip the phase and you're not gonna get the glitch. So really happy to see that it happened on a race.
Now I do have to say though that it wasn't, even though he got the glitch, it wasn't actually the best time that you can get in the, and also it wasn't like the cleanest. He did miss a couple of shots and he didn't really connect some of his EXs, so that definitely didn't really put him in like the best possible position in that fight. But he's still ahead because he managed to save those 10 seconds over Wolf because of that glitch. That's like really strong. And like I said, Wolf doesn't really have the greatest Kagni fight. Luigi with 24. I think Wolf might get like 26 here.
And poor Cagney, it just gets destroyed in Legacy. He's barely getting his arms and feet moving to the rhythm of the song, and then it's already dead. So we'll see here. I guess they're both gonna go for Baroness Bombomon, right? Like, I would expect for these two runners to go to Baroness instead of Beppy.
Yes, it's definitely like the best routing option there to go to Barnes von Bonbon. It's a little bit RNG based, I think. That you this is like the better strat for Barnes von Bonbon, more consistent, and you can actually get the better time with that specific strat. Luigi is going to stick with the trap with low burst and roundabout in the second and third minion, but from experimenting a little bit, I believe that the roundabout is a better one. And Luigi's going to do the roundabout as well. So I guess he actually updated his strats. As he's not going to go, he got the quick kill as well. That was extremely quick, and he was like a little bit delayed there, I want to be honest with you. But he did a really good job nonetheless.
I think they both got pretty decent RNG in regards to the mini bosses here. Nobody got like the Jawbreaker, for example. And they both got the Muffin at the beginning, so it was pretty even in regards of RNG here.
Yeah, that quick kill though for Luigi will make him like have a great time. 33 there for Luigi. 33 for... Yeah, really great fight for both of them. They're gonna move on now to the first boss that might be a little bit of a problem. So let's see. Yeah, the first airplane boss fight that has weapon swaps included, and those weapon swaps are different than what you see from the other, of course, of boss fights. You pretty much like mash, you double change on the rhythm of the bomb cooldown, and you sneak like one bomb while you fire a machine pea shooter. Strat that they're going to be doing here is actually those EXs to clear the pillars. The idea behind that in the first place was actually clear the pillars fast and you'll have more time to hit the heads. But we found out that it actually deals more damage shooting those EXs.
Luigi getting 2 hits right there in the pillars. And this section with 2 damage on yourself already is gonna be pretty scary. Like we could see there, Luigi needs to take a little bit of time right there to be able to properly avoid any upcoming damage, because one hit is gonna really put him like super behind. Let's see if we can close it out. Yeah, he plays it safe. I don't blame him. It was pretty scary.
Yeah, it was.
I think both got a little bit of an advantage on that fight. Yeah, we could see 7 seconds is not that bad considering the position that Luigi was at that moment.
Yes, exactly. You can see like Wolf has done this specific fight many times. He's done magical 52. Luigi did have like a better like IL1 though, so I believe he's still ahead when it comes down to loadless times. You can see like Wolf being a little bit ahead, but that's because of those loading times. Viper glitch is like the biggest glitch of IL2, the most important, I guess I should say. Wolf barely got it, but he's like trying to play a little bit risky so he can use some EXs. Right? Luigi gets it like easily though. He's gonna be using some EXs himself. I believe it's a slightly more cleaner fight there for Luigi, as there's like a hidden hitbox on the left side of the screen, and those low bursts can actually deal double damage to Beppy outside of that hitbox. So saving those EXs are really important. Nice 33 there for Wolf, and you can see that 31 from side. So Luigi was you could see that he played that fight more like clean, I guess.
Now they're both heading to Wally Warbles. Another, for me, it's very interesting fight. Definitely one of the fights that I consider the harder in Legacy. And for me, that is because you pretty much have to be right in front of Wally the whole time to be able to properly aim the weapon swap and hit all of the missiles right there. We could see SVD Wolf got a couple of like, I don't know how it's called, shotgun attack or something like that from Wally. And Luigi got the X and he was hit once. It's probably not going to cause that much trouble because the last phase dies faster. But however, Wolf is getting an insane fight right now. You see the hard attack. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, Wolf, I mean, 2Z, but can you kill Wally Warbles before the hard is out if you get a good RNG like Luigi maybe?
Yes, you can do it. You can do it, but Luigi had a slightly like safe fight, I guess. Maybe he missed a couple. the weapon swaps. He gets like a 40-second fight though, which is good. SPD Wolf with a 38. He's like one of the best runners when it comes down to. He was like one of the first to actually get a sub 40 in a run, and with the optimizations, many people 39 like Jason and Luigi in the race against Jason. I believe both of them actually got a 39 in that race. In fact, but yeah, and now we'll move on to Green Matchstick, and this is a fight that can be like glitched, I guess, but the glitch itself doesn't necessarily like save that much time. It really comes down to how much damage you output to the dragon. Wolf gets like the really good pattern, so he will definitely get the glitch, which means that he will have an easier time killing Green Matchstick. The fight, from what I understand, like knowing Wolf, he will probably get around a 33 or 32 second fight. And Luigi, he gets same RNG again with Wolf, so he will probably get the glitch himself. And a relatively easier fight as well. 32 for Wolf.
Pretty good fights from both of them here in Green Matchstick. Luigi getting a little bit scary right there at the end with just 1 HP, but still pretty good, and they're both heading pretty much at island number 3 now.
Yeah, better fight there for Luigi, 31 over the 32 from SPD Wolf. You can see that with the same RNG to do the glitch before the transition. So that 1-0 that SPD Wolf got probably caused that time difference.
So for those of you wondering right now in the chat, we have a 13:13 entrance to island number 3 from Wolf and a 12:59 entrance from Luigi. So Luigi is like 14 seconds ahead in the loadless times right now.
Yeah, he's having like a fantastic pace. I think that probably was the only fight that didn't really give him that good of a fight, I guess. So that might put him quite far behind like his PB or world record. Right now he gets a good RNG in the B, might be further ahead. Now you'll see Luigi, he has done it multiple times, so he will probably get the quick kill. That saves about 5 to 6 seconds compared to Wolf. He gets some commentative scores, I guess.
He got missing like 1 hit, I think.
Yeah, he was like a couple of hits. He got some bad RNG there on the platforms.
Yeah, the platforms were just too bad right there. They didn't line up for
Even
him to
though,
be able to continue hitting.
Like, people might say commentary scores and stuff like that. I kind of believe Luigi didn't really play that well in that one, to be honest. I think he would have had it if he played it slightly more aggressive there, but just to be safe, he still got a faster fight though without that, even though he didn't get that fast kill. And this is like the biggest point of like trouble for many runners, and Wolf gets a knockout on the fast robot glitch. Let's see how Luigi gets it. Both of them are really experienced on that one.
Yeah, he played that pretty clean. And I believe there's like a super safe setup to actually do this, right? Like they count the number of bumps that they throw there, and then they get it. Like both of them had like no trouble at all. We have seen a lot of these races during this time, and we saw a lot of players like resetting over and over in Dr. Carl right here, but both of them, they just like killed it, like literally killed him like super fast.
Yeah, you might see like the score screen with 15 seconds from Luigi. I think that both of them were pretty much at the same time, like, just a couple of milliseconds difference. They had a really clean robot fight. And the Sally stage play is probably one of the fights that Luigi might actually have an edge like over Wolf. Simply because for some reason, Luigi is doing fantastic. Like he's amazing on Sally. I don't know exactly how to describe it. He gets some ridiculous times compared to other runners.
Answer me something, because I know you're way more experienced than me in Legacy, but why, like when Sally goes to second phase, why do they hit a little bit of roundabouts to the left first instead of going full on the WSG right there?
Yeah, when Sally is on screen, she doesn't really take damage until she actually points the finger. So when that animation ends, that's when Sally takes damage, as Wolf gets a 42, and Luigi, I believe, might be on pace for a good fight. He missed a couple of shots in the end. I believe he's going to be around 42, 41, probably. 42, yeah. But yeah, you can see like we talk about many boss fights, but this category is extremely fast. The weapon swap makes it so fast that we can't really express how like we can't really say all the strats that goes into like the runner's heads. Because there have been actually a lot of strategies, by the way. It might look like they are just like weapon swapping, but there are like a lot of positioning things that you need to take care of, when to use the EXs and stuff like that. So this category is definitely like one of the most of. A nice knockout there for Wolf on Very Vermin. I believe he's gonna be like 34 probably. 33 for Wolf. Nicely done. As Luigi gets a fast burner so far. Let's see how this goes.
Gotta be careful with that paw. Oh man. Okay, there you go. I don't know why I thought he had 1 HP, but he had 2 still. I got scared for nothing right there.
Yeah, Luigi had a really good fight. I believe it was 33 as well. Like, might have been like slightly better than Wolves. And this is like the first part that many runners like lose. In this boss fight, they lose a lot of runs, let's just say. There are like specific RNG elements, and Wolf gets good RNG, I feel like. Let's see how this goes. He gets a really fast pattern. It's possible to skip it. I don't know if he's gonna get it. He didn't really get the skip, so that's bad RNG there for Wolf. At the same time, he said himself that with that specific RNG, you can get the fastest fight in the Captain Brandon fight, but it's extremely tight. He misses it, so he's gonna be even further ahead, behind now because of that.
Man, and I think Luigi's gonna lose a lot of time here.
Oh yeah, he didn't really get the grip. Oh yeah, 3 cycles.
He barely got the damage done right when the shark was coming out.
Both of them getting the 3 cycle. Like you can see even the guys who, world record, they know this fight a lot. They're having a lot of trouble with this fight at Luigi death.
Yeah, I was looking at the barrel on top of there, and I was thinking like, oh man, that's a bad position for the barrel to be there for the last phase. I didn't want to say it, not to curse it, but I think just thinking about it, it actually cursed it. Oh man, this is very unfortunate for Luigi. He's gonna have to like go against the current right now, and there's not much room for race anymore. But Wolf with only 1 HP right now in Calamaria and still like 2 phases left. Normally the last few phases in Legacy are not hard. However, he has to be careful here. It's
kind of a weird fight, Calamaria. That is like strats that you do to stay with 1 HP on Calamaria, and it's like one of the bosses that lately has been giving a lot of trouble to runs because they want to play really aggressive, right? Wolf did a really good job so far, and Luigi, by the way, in that second Captain Brandon beer fight, he gets a 32, which is like a really great time, and 41 for SP Wolf in Calamaria, which is, again, a really insane time for Calamaria. Man, that death on Captain Brandybeard definitely puts Luigi behind, but he's not that far behind. That death will cost him like around 30 seconds. He was ahead already by 16 seconds more or less. So Wolf is like 20 seconds ahead right estimate, right? So it's not over there, because there are like a couple of fights, a couple of things that can go wrong in Legacy, and man, this is like, it was like kind of heartbreaking, I gotta say, because...
Yeah. However, Monkey Glitch, we're looking at you. Monkey Glitch can be a super, like another one of those really breaking points.
Oh my god, the Monkey Glitch indeed. As Luigi, Calamaria, and the Wolf is doing a really good job on the twin phase. He's gonna get a really fast kill, and he's gonna go like straight to the last phase. I believe his pace is around that 57, 56 time. So let's see. So Luigi gets a 43 in Calamaria. Really good fight as well. Those really nice dodges. He gets a knockout. I believe that's like a 56, if I'm not mistaken. Even better, 55. And star skips as well. Star skips are like some extra things that happen that actually saves a significant amount of time, I have to say. And it's actually RNG based, whether you get some star skips on the score screen. So good stuff for Wolf. Every little bit helps, as he enters Inkwell Hell and Luigi right now on Phantom Express. He had a really clean first phase. Couple of lobbers there. He missed that lobber, but at the same time he killed, so it's not that big of a deal. He lost like just a couple of frames again, like just a couple of milliseconds in that one.
So you're taking a little bit of damage boost. Oh man, that paid off, but it looked a little bit risky for a moment.
Yeah, definitely. Like Luigi is usually going for those damage Phantom Express. I believe like if you actually manage to pull something like that, you can actually save a lot of time. Wolf didn't really have the cleanest poker chips, as Luigi gets the kill there on Phantom Express kind of late on the last phase, but you know he got the one cycle at least, which is pretty good. Slightly slower fight than Wolf, like about 4 seconds. Actually, 4 seconds in Legacy is actually kind of long, to be honest. So in the last 2 fights, Wolf was like 6 seconds faster than Luigi. As he moves on now to the Domino fight, and Domino fight is a good indicator that you know that you've done like really good job. When it does like that bird attack, you usually want to kill the Domino before it throws that second attack. So Wolf didn't really optimize the damage like, you know, at the best right there. So he got an attack out of the Domino.
And here it comes, guys. The infamous monkey glitch. I mean, he still has a lot of time, a little bit like ahead right now from Luigi. So I think even if he fails it a couple of times, something else is going to be needed right now for Luigi to be able to catch up. But let's see how many attempts we get here for the monkey.
Slow pattern. So far, he gets the bounce, I believe, and he gets the knockout. Wow, that was, I believe, a really sketchy freeze for the monkey, I gotta say. It wasn't looking that clean. Usually, the monkey, when it stays like that, it goes off screen and it returns sometimes. I believe Wolf got slightly lucky there.
Whoa,
As
whoa,
he's on,
whoa.
yeah, he's on 1 HP, but you know, it's like part of the way you do the fight, you do like a couple of damage boosts. And you hope to not parry, because if you parry, you lose a second on the score screen. So he definitely want to avoid that parry, like the plague, I guess. Luigi with a really clean domino and pocket chip fight. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say he still needed to dash because that invincibility frames were not gonna last enough for the cards to be able to go away. It was just a little bit scary. However, he's already at the devil right here, and even with Spider and everything, this is Wolf's race to win right now.
Exactly. And the devil is actually not necessarily the hardest fight in Legacy. I would say that is, no matter what pattern you get, you will have like a really easy time on the devil. And so far he gets like probably the best pattern on the devil. He might get a 1 cycle. He gets a 1 cycle, indeed. As Luigi gets the monkey glitch first try as well. Nicely done there for Luigi, as he is going to move on to the King Dice himself. A really clean fight for Wolf too. So it really depends on like RNG right now. But he did get the god RNG as with those 4 orbs from the devil. And with that, Luigi's gonna get they both get knockout but on different bosses. And Wolf wins race 1, I believe. We might check like the longless times, but until then, you know, we'll see how it goes. As by the way, Wolf got a 42. He actually got a 42 on the devil. Wow.
Crazy Wolf.
What? That's pretty insane. I think I've seen it like twice happening from the runners in like runs. As Luigi actually saved 5 seconds of King Dice, but that death on Camden Brandy might actually cost him.
And he's got a 24-27 loadless time, for those of you wondering, which is crazy good for a race.
Yes, 24-27 is the 4th best time in the leaderboards, if you like put it in the leaderboards right now. So that is like extremely insane for a category like this.
For a lot of runners, like the ultimate goal is to do a sub 25 run. He just did it live in a race environment.
Yeah, and Luigi was in a godlike pace after, and that death on Captain Barnaby definitely, like, quite far behind. And in the end, I still believe that he might get a sub, despite that death. We'll see, as he's on the devil right now, and so far he's dealing that phase like quite well. He probably he used like a lot of, he landed most of it. Gonna get the knockout eventually if he does.
Oh
GG's to
man.
Luigi. Yeah.
You got a 2503 even with that dead. That was insane, man. Let's shoot runs right now here to start with the races.
Yeah, insane pace by Luigi going up to Captain Barnaby. He got Hilda Glitch, he got Ruby and Groke's, RNG, he got the Magical 30th, Forest Follies. The Jimmy fight was not good. The rest of the fights, though, were crazy good. 31 on Beppy, 33 on Barnes von Bombo. BRNG, as I mentioned earlier, godlike robot. That Captain Barnaby fight was definitely something that was kind of sad to see happening. But both of them actually had an insane race, I have to say. But yeah, this is not the end of this best of 3. This was only race 1. We still have like race 2 and potentially race 3 if Luigi manages to win race 2. We are going to be talking to Luigi to see what category he's going to choose, and in the meantime I think this might be like a good time for us to take a small break to let the runners relax a bit and then prepare for the race.
Alright, so we'll be right back. Alright, everybody, so we are back with best category ever. Low percent current patch. At least that's my favorite category for sure. And I'm joined here by my good friend Tusi Plus. Hey Tusi.
Hey, Mr. Dino, how you doing? And yeah, I agree. Amazing, actually. So I think that a lot of people actually really like, even like runners and viewers, I have to say. It's just a relaxing category, you know. Pea shooter is so smooth that it feels great to play with pea shooter, I have to say.
Yeah, and actually it's an amazing I want to say it's an amazing gun actually in the game. For it to be like the most basic gun, it's actually decent damage and really good distance.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. And you know, it has been this category has been optimized the past like I'd say 8 months now. I remember back in November when this category like really high world record was close to 37, 38 minutes. And right now it's just like barely below 32 minutes, like 31:59 by SPD Wolf.
Yeah,
By the way, yeah,
actually
yeah,
Luigi is second place here. Like we're looking first versus second place in this category.
yeah, I was about to say that we're looking first, you know, versus second, and those two are like gods in this category. Like Luigi, definitely one of the, you know, people that I know in the Cuphead speedrunning community that, you know, first expressed like his love for low percent. You know, I remember you, Luigi, and Lindesis were back in the day the ones who were only doing like low percent, and you know, you really love that category.
I still love it a lot, but I like my time. I still like my time, but it's definitely not at such a good time anymore. I really need to come back and practice this. And like Kaleva is saying right now in the chat, pretty much the pea shooter percent is, or the low percent, it's like hit as many hits as possible. That's like your strat. And parries, I like to compare it a little bit with like flying fights, where you have to like do parries and EX in very specific phases to be able to do as much damage as possible without like any other options or guns or anything like that.
Yeah, so I guess I guess low percent is what we EX management. Make sure you hit all of your shots. So I guess we don't have to say anything about the boss fights now. We're just gonna talk random about Cuphead speedrunning news and stuff.
And we'll see. Right now, actually, this second fight is an important fight because there is a way, depending on what pattern you get, the way that you have to shoot the EX attacks, be able to get like a 2 pattern, 1 pattern, 2 pattern. So that's the cycles that you want to get, like 2 attacks in the first phase, 1 attack in the second phase, and 2 attacks in the third phase. So if you don't do it properly, you might get 2 attacks on the second phase, which makes you lose, I don't know, like 10 seconds, something like that.
Yes, exactly. And RNG plays a little bit of like factor, I guess, in that skip in that second phase. Like if you get the fly's second pattern, second cycle, I guess, in the first phase, you will guarantee yourself that skip in the second, like that one cycle second phase, because you will deal, you know, more damage exploiting that hidden hitbox. As Wolf, I believe, didn't get the 1 cycle. He got 2 cycle, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
So
actually, Wolf lost time here. He got a 2 cycle in the second phase. He didn't do enough attack. Usually, you can see that you get like 3 pink shots during the arms phases attack. You get the 3 shots over there, and you throw like 3 more EXs during the first phase. Usually, that's all you need, like 6 EX attacks, and just land all the rest of your pea shooters to get the 2-1-2. However, I think Wolf wanted to save EX attacks for the last phase, because that makes that last phase a little bit faster, but it didn't pay it off at the end. The faster fight I've seen for Rivi and Croaks here is 121. And 122 for Rigi is just like super good. Sometimes you depend on RNG to get even the 122.
Yeah, that major time loss was that 1 extra second phase. I believe it's what you said. Wolf wanted to preserve those EXs, so he gambled a bit by, you know, relying on the damage that he did on like the food, I guess, to get that skip. But it's gonna be super tight if he gets that. And Guppy is probably the hardest fight to make sure you get a competitive time in low percent, I think. In like, at least IO1.
Yeah, here like the last phase is a hard phase because the tombstone just moves like super fast for you to be able to catch up. And you gotta be placed on like good angles and good positions to be able to land as many shoots as possible as well.
Exactly. Now, for those who don't know low percent, because I don't think we mentioned that, low percent is actually beating the game with the less possible equipment, I guess. So you're not gonna be picking any coins. You're not gonna pick any, any upgrades like charms and stuff, or even the bomb upgrade for the airplane. You're gonna go with just plain as possible, I guess. Cuphead experience.
Yeah, and also you're not gonna be seeing the devil fight in this category because the idea is to get to the credits with as low percent as possible, and actually fighting the devil well increases the percentage right there. And you can get to the credits if you take the devil seal and you become the devil's advocate here. So yeah, low percent is the category where Cuphead goes evil.
Exactly. It might not seem like an ending, but it is an ending. The bad ending, I guess. But low percent is like about getting to an ending, I guess, with the least amount of progress.
So here we are once again, Hilda fight. So what's going on here? So we see a damage boost right there, an EX. I'm pretty sure everybody knows what's going on right now with Hilda fight, right?
I mean, I might as well explain what's gonna happen here in Hilberg, because you have to do some really dangerous damage boost, and you're gonna be using specific nukes to get like faster phases and stuff. But yeah, Hildenberg is like really the same fight, I guess, in pretty much every category. We say that every time. Luigi is actually, I believe Luigi and Kaleva are the only ones who are doing different strats without like using the nukes in the second phase, if I'm not mistaken. So, a little bit of diversity, I guess, for some current patch like strats, I guess. In the end, you might get like better fights if you're doing the other way, but the Luigi way and the Kaleva, I guess, way is the more consistent way to get good times.
Yeah, actually, 107 is pretty good from Caliban. 109 is also awesome from Luigi. I have tested a little bit with doing 2 EX attacks. Like, if you are able to get 2 cards before the first dash, I test like doing 2 EX attacks on the first phase and 2 EX attacks again on the second phase when you take the damage boost. And I've been able to get like 106 and I think even 105 with that strat. But it's kind of weird as well, and you need to get 2 cards at the beginning. And that doesn't normally happen. It depends on the RNG from Hilda, and it also depends on you landing all the shoots right there. And here we are. This is my most hated boss in this category. I just call it the RNG something. I'm not gonna say it because it's PG-13. the RNG madness, we're gonna call it. If you didn't see Cagney shine on the last category because Legacy just kills Cagney freaking hard, oh man, he's definitely a troll in this category.
Yeah, he's a troll. I do have to say that you have to dodge pretty much, and you have to make sure. It's a little bit tricky with Cagney because there are so many things going on if you get like seed attacks and stuff. Both are doing a really good job, but nevertheless. Something that I need to mention about this one is the fact in the previous fight, because I just remember there used to be a new strat that Kaleva was doing in Hildenberg, and that was like the compensation part. That was like a really interesting strat, but I guess we're not going to go in detail with that. But that used to work for like, I believe he was doing that for like 1 or 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. Oh yeah, and with that, we are actually going they are really on good pace, I have to say. Luigi slightly ahead. Just SB Wolves has like better load time, so you might see him ahead, but yeah, Luigi, I believe Bloodless is faster because he had better fights overall.
Good day for us. Well, you're up.
so Beppy fight on Ion. Beppy is actually kind of weird on low percent, I have to say. There's like a specific thing that both runners are going to be doing. I believe they're going to do it after the balloon, if I'm not mistaken. They're going to throw some EXs. Oh, Luigi did one there. He actually did two. I think that it's better to do it when the balloon phase is over, because there is like a high chance you get to skip specific phases. Now Wolf got really good RNG less, so they are both going to skip the horses, I think.
Yeah, they both got good RNG right there. They both got the green horse. However, like you mentioned, it should usually be better to throw those EX between the second and third phase, just in case that you get the yellow horse. And also because if you last a little bit longer in the second phase, there's a bigger chance that you get those pink balloons. And like we said, EX management here is pretty important because EX does way more damage than just the pea shooters straight at the face. So you gotta have as many EX as possible in most of the fights. There are some fights that you actually lose time by taking your time for parrying, but in this one, you don't really lose time by parrying because you can just keep shooting at Beppy while parrying those pink balloons.
Yeah, and they both had a really good time. I think 121 from both, I would say. 119. That was insane. I guess like better optimization in like damage, I suppose. Like in the first phase and stuff. I do have to mention though that like in the all bosses category, by doing that strat with the picture EXs on like down below after the balloon phase, skip the golden horse. You can do like one cycle with the golden horse, which it was like impossible to do before. In 0%, I'm not sure exactly how many X's. Might be like barely possible.
I think you might need to shoot like 5 before the yellow horse shows up.
Well, yeah, probably. That's way too much.
And it will still be like super tight.
Yeah. It might be like really tight as well, yeah, so yeah. Now a little bit of different strats, I think, from both runners. You saw in the previous shot, they saw PXs for the pillars to do more damage, but what they did right now is actually got RNG first phase, and they got multiple fireball attacks, and they use the nuke right in the first phase, and then when the sarcophagus opens, Jimmy has like bigger hitbox, as you can see, so that EX hits about 5 or 6 times, so you pretty much skip the sarcophagus phase immediately by doing that.
Well, Pinocchio here, it trolled Wolf. I think it trolled Wolf both times in the Legacy and in this fight.
Yeah, Wolf got debated, guys. Gonna get some. Like Pinocchio got him. Like Pinocchio is 2, Wolf is 0 in this race. I gotta say.
Yeah.
So he lost the best of 3 from Pinocchio.
So for those of you that don't know, Pinocchio, the forged shoot on those when he's shooting at you, each 4 times he throws at you a pink bullet. However, sometimes he delays it, and you can get trolled like Wolf got. He tried the parry, but nothing came out, and then he shoots you, and you miss the parry because the cooldown is just a little bit longer for you to be able to try it again. So yeah, exactly. We have some debaters right there. That's exactly what Pinocchio did to Wolf twice now. And
right now, Luigi overall is having better fights in every single fight. I think. Like Hilda might have been the best one for Wolf, and other than that, Luigi has better fights in every single boss fight so far. So he's definitely ahead by, I would say, about 15 seconds more or less. So Barnes von Bonbon is. You don't have like in the previous race they used like no in race 3 it was like the previous match I should say they used like roundabout only, and the roundabout is a really great gun for Barnes von Bonbon. Pea shooter though is a really difficult gun to use for Barnes von Bonbon. So you have to like make sure that you connect all of your shots, right? The most difficult part, of course, on this fight is killing the minions fast enough. Reaches on 1 HP in one of the scariest
Yeah,
last phase in
last
the game.
phase against Shield, I mean against Baroness with Pea Shooter only and just 1 HP can get very scary. So he took a little bit of time right there. That missed a lot of shoots. However, yeah, I could like sometimes those like heads can overstack like the two of them for a very little time, and it's hard to avoid them. And we still see that Wolf took like 7 seconds more than Luigi even with that, so Luigi's still cutting a little bit of time right there, and I believe right now Luigi might be ahead, like overall.
Yeah, he's like ahead by, I would say, close to 20-something seconds at this point, because he was winning in every single boss fight, and now this is like seven second time lead for him over in Baroness. I do have to say though, it was like kind of depends on RNG. Luigi played extremely well with the RNG that he got, so he got the better fight overall. And guess what, guys? Airplane fight is current. Yes, you guessed it right. They're gonna be using the EXs at the right amount of the time, and they're gonna parry specific things. We all love airplane fights in the current patch.
Alright,
But yeah,
so
like
there they go. They're gonna be doing the 5 EX attack right there to do a little bit of damage boost and kill this third phase of Wally Warbles. Like Wally Warble's son, or I'm not sure what that is.
yeah, I actually don't have a clue about that one. I do have to say though, it's I joke of course with current patch airplane bosses being like about the EX management and blah blah, and they are really difficult, I have to say, to execute at a really high level and to get competitive times. Like you can see like 1 second difference there from Luigi. He wins another fight over like Wolf, and in the race earlier, Caliber is like one of the better players in my opinion for the airplane fights. He got a 1 minute fight on Wally Warbles, so you can see that a little bit of optimizations can actually help you get better times. I saw an interesting question that someone asked, why they... So there was like a recent discovery. When you pause after the little bird dies, you actually trigger the last phase immediately. Usually what happens if you don't pause is that the little bird has to go off screen, and then slowly the fourth phase is gonna happen. But with pausing, you actually enable it immediately.
Yeah, and that also, like, other than spawning it faster, it also removes, like, the effect depending on where you kill the little bird on the screen. Because sometimes if you kill it, like, closer to the middle, it would have taken longer for him to go off screen because it's further away. So yeah, with that pause, you just immediately spawn the last phase of Wally Warbles and remove any bad RNG in case you did a bad fight on the little bird.
Yeah, both of them right now are on Green Matchstick. Green Matchstick is kind of a difficult fight for many runners, I would say. Low percent in every category in the current patch. And for the runners, the most important thing for top runners is to get the competitive time, which means that they're gonna have to pretty much make sure they connect all of the shots without like having to worry to dodge that match. So they have to dodge while using EXs or jumping over the flames, and it's really difficult to do so.
Yeah, and we see Luigi took a little bit of time right there to make sure that he avoided all the shoots properly because he was only with 1 HP left, and a missed shoot to one of those fires could have taken a life, and they got the exact same time, 118 right there.
Exactly. Really great fight though. Nevertheless, from both. It can be like done slightly faster, but depending on what RNG you get, what the nerves in the race and stuff like that. Obviously, 118 is quite remarkable, I have to say. And they're gonna move on to aisle 3, and the first boss that they're gonna fight there is kind of interesting because there have been some recent discoveries that there is like a hidden hitbox, similar to Beppy down below. So a fight that was used to be like the hardest one in low percent is actually not that hard now.
Oi, oi, oi. I want to see some oi, oi, ois in the chat, people. We haven't seen a lot of oi, oi, ois today. But really, you want to kill oi, oi, oi on its way to the left like Luigi did right there so that he goes off screen faster. And usually you can do that kind of consistent and easily when you just stay right on the very left and you just keep shooting all of your shoots at Oi 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 guy, as well as your EX attack. And we have seen some crazy stuff here in this fight in the other races where they just parry like crazy when they get the sphere attack. They just parry to get a lot of EXs. And I believe even Luigi did a quick kill on the low percent weekly race on Honey Bottoms, which was insane. I think it's the only time I've seen that happen in low percent.
I'm not sure, but I believe Wolf got in the world record as well. I might be missing. But yeah, that last phase is by far like the hard part of low percent, and the Wolf actually didn't really get the best fight in low percent, I would say. Oh, actually, both of them actually struggle a bit. You expect them to get the knockout almost immediately, which they did. But, you know, it could have been slightly better, I guess. It depends on RNG, kind of.
Yeah, and they were giving us a little mini heart attack right there on the last phase with just 1 HP, which can get like very, very scary on that last phase, especially if she throws the homing missiles.
Exactly. Like those missiles, punches, they are like the worst ones to dodge. But yeah, I think they both did really good. Like not panicking in that moment, I guess. And yeah, the Core's robot is pretty much the same fight in one gun roundabout. Airplane fight, it's the same current patch. So they're gonna be doing a specific like stuff, using specific X since they're gonna have even more because they don't have the bombs to kill both phases like at the same time. And they're gonna make sure that they have enough EXs to trigger the nuke. Wolf with a heart attack there because he barely managed to get those 5 EXs and skip that second phase immediately. Luigi does it really nicely though. So the bullet hell now, as the strat, as we know, is get a nuke. Once they get the nuke, they will have the HP to pretty much face tank those pillars and actually keep getting shots with Pichu. They have the HP, so they're gonna damage boost, as you can see Wolf do there. And Luigi's gonna do the same thing. Yeah, 103 for, no, 1 minute for Wolf, which is pretty good. And I think Luigi had 3. Just a little bit of time saving for Wolf. And yeah, airplanes.
On Island 3, Wolf is catching a little bit in the 2 fights. He got like 1 second and now 3 seconds. So he's making back a little bit of time right there. And you're gonna see Sally's stage play now, which I think is pretty straightforward fight again, but since it takes way longer with the pea shooter, I've seen her taking some deaths in this category. Especially when she starts throwing the mouses at you, can like suddenly there can be just way too much things on screen for you to be able to avoid everything.
Yeah, especially with the second phase, right? Yeah, with the cars and everything, the baby boy. That is true. It is rather difficult, no matter what category you're playing in the current patch. No, difficult is not the right word. Tricky, I guess.
Yeah, definitely tricky. And the baby right there in the bottom throwing milk at you. Milk bottles.
Yeah, those milk bottles. Now, the runs have 3 HP. They're gonna dash the big wave. No, Wolf has 2 HP. If I'm not mistaken. Okay, I'm not really paying attention. Yeah, Wolf has 2 HP, so he's gonna hope to dash the big wave. That's gonna be a time loss. We're just gonna just tank the attack that he gets, which he got like lightning bolts. And he's even gonna tank the big wave, so he's not really scared of Sally because of that quick kill mechanic that we can get using 5 EXs and get that fast kill. Really nicely done. Now, funny thing is, Luigi, despite the fact that he had a part of Sally's stage play, he didn't really save that much time, and that was because the first phase was really bad for Luigi, as far as like RNG goes, because there are like specific patterns like Sally disappearing that it can cause a little bit of time loss. Sorry.
here. So I think this is the category in which Werner is the trickiest as well, because of how long it takes for P-Shooter to take down the second phase. Ideally, you actually want, I guess, a first phase to be a little bit longer, depending on its attacks, of course, so that you don't have to deal with the second phase for that long. Oh man, and Luigi has to be like very, very careful here. I've seen also like in the last phase, Werner Wehrman throws at you like some pink balls that then they split into two. And it's pretty easy to meet the little shoots that go in the ground when they split into two when there's so many things going on screen. And okay, so he's done with the second phase. Wolf is already on third phase right now. Throwing a lot of EX attacks right there for Luigi. And there they go, he gets the RNG for those pink bullets, he's gonna parry them, yeah. Gotta be careful with those pows right there. And oh man.
That parry is actually one of the most annoying parries to get in. And Luigi actually fell victim to that.
I was specifically saying about those pink thingies in the bottom.
Man, he gets to his here as well. Really quick insta. That is extremely unfortunate for Luigi because he was right at the last phase, so that is a significant time loss. Luigi did have a big time lead, I would say, over Wolf because of better boss fight, but that death again, similar to like race 1, will put him behind probably around 40 seconds at this point for low percent. Anything can happen, you know, low percent is a really difficult category, and boss that is really difficult as well is Phantom Express that is coming up. And, you know, Captain Burning because Wolf is right there on him, so it's close. You know, it's not over yet, I have to say, because, you know, Luigi is a really experienced runner, so we might see comeback for him. Now, in the meantime, Wolf is on a... Captain Burning Bear can be a bit tricky depending on the head. I think he had decent RNG, question mark. Both of them get the knockout at the same time, but Wolf is a boss ahead at that point. Let's see the time that he gets. 55, wow, that's actually a pretty great time on Contemporary for low percent. And 111 there for Luigi, a respectable time for Werner Wehrman. But yeah, it's Luigi's still in the race though. You know, you see the differences like a boss for both of the runners. You have to keep in mind low times. So I believe that those two runners are about 40 seconds difference like between each other. Like Wolf being in the, it's not official. Like I don't know exactly. It seems like it's based on the boss fights that they have and that death from Luigi. That it might be like about 40 seconds.
Yeah, man, it was pretty unfortunate right there. So right now we see again Brainy Bird and now Calamaria. Calamaria a little bit different in Legacy than it is in current patch. So in current patch you ideally wanna like parry a lot of things, but Wolf had a little bit of bad RNG right there for the parry to be right on his face. However, I think he's still gonna be able to get 5EX cards during this phase. Let's see.
Yeah, he's gonna do a damage boost here to does a petrifying gaze, and his face. It's like a really common backup strat, I think. If you manage to play like safe on that first phase and not get hit, then you will be rewarded with damage boost. It actually saves time, in my opinion. And Luigi gets a 56, by the way, on Captain Branding Bear, which is a second slower than the SPD Wolf, but still it's a really impressive time in Captain Branding Bear. And 106 for Wolf, which is another impressive time. Yeah, something that Luigi did, I guess we didn't mention, actually, Luigi didn't really have the HP, and he wasn't really comfortable with, you know, damage boosting the laser. You can actually damage the both throws, so you can still shoot down diagonally and hit the boss. Really nice optimization. As Wolf is on the second to last boss. Like after this is just King Dice, and Phantom Express is kind of a weird one in Lopus. I have to say, it's not that hard, I guess, but if you want to play really fast, like for example, Wolf wanted to parry block if he got hit, it might be a bit weird. So from what I believe, you cannot 2-cycle on the skeleton with the P-Shooter. So
No, I don't think you can 2-cycle. And I was pulling a new dino again. I was talking in mute. But yeah, I was saying that you have you ideally want to get as many EX attacks as possible during the last phase because the engine can be a little bit tricky. You don't have a lot of time window to be able to do damage to the engine phase. So, and as you can see here in the twins, you can actually do a lot more damage consistently because the hitbox is always there, and you ideally have like very good angles to keep hitting at the twins right there.
Yeah. In the meantime, Luigi got a 104. Really impressive. Calamaria. Last phase there for the train, as Dino said, the engine. Wolf using those DXs in that nice position there with a lock mechanic to actually keep doing damage to the heart. He's gonna get a really quick second kill. Yeah. Interesting to mention that P-Shooter is the main reason you can actually get a 1-cycle in the all bosses category because of that consistent DPS. Like P-Shooter pinpoints, I guess, small hitboxes. So it's that small hitbox that the last phase of the engine has works really well with P-Shooter if you get in that position, and that is like the reason you can get the 1-cycle on the train. And it's not over there. The race is not over. Luigi now on the train and Dice, and King Dice is pretty much the same as the old bosses one. It's slightly slower though because you're going to be doing the same bosses, and I do have to say that number 2, the poker chip, is the exact same in all bosses. You're not going to be using spread in that one, so only P-Shooter. The runners have experience with only P-Shooter in this boss, so they're just gonna like get the position, which is the important thing, and make sure that with the lock mechanic they're gonna be hitting the boss at all times.
Yeah, P-Shooter here in the poker chip. Pretty much the standard fight in all bosses as well. So Wolf should be killing it right now before it goes to the left, and yeah, there it goes. Pretty standard fight right there for the poker chips. Wolf. And we're gonna be seeing the domino now.
And a nice second cycle kill here in the engine for consistent damage. He got a really competitive 128, even better, I have to say. Nice job there from Luigi. As a Wolf is gonna like stay close to the domino and make sure like with something that we didn't really mention, that lock mechanic, probably the most important mechanic for low percent. And make sure that you once you get like position, you can manage to deal damage to the boss on a certain angle, I guess.
Yeah, definitely very important to be able to perform properly with the lock mechanic, like you say, because you usually get into an angle that you just keep doing damage and try to avoid as much as possible without moving, which is very important. And we see the magic 8 ball here, guys. So he asked the magic 8 ball, will Wolf take this run, or is something weird gonna happen and Luigi's gonna be able to come back on this one?
So far, really nice damage on the poker chips. Wolf is doing a really good job on. He's really healthy as well, 4 HP, so if he manages to keep that HP, he's gonna be in a really good position to like finish the King Dice level in a really fast way as well.
Yeah,
As
something
Luigi
very
gets
weird would need to happen, like a start over or something like that.
Yeah, important to mention that Luigi actually didn't get good hard RNG. That means that he's only gonna be with those 2 remaining HP points till the end. That one hit on the focus sequence was extremely unfortunate. As SPD Wolf on the last boss fight in this category, guys, and he's in the lead, and he's gonna be after that accepting the deal on the devil and end this category, and probably end the series? Question mark. We still have to wait for the longest time. Sure, but it seems like SPD Wolf is in the lead. He just has to say yes, end the race, and presumably like win this best of 3 series and the grand finals.
Okay, he might still hit no, and then he would need to reset the game and then come back and then hit yes. We still have something that can happen, guys, for that third race. And no, not third race.
No for the race.
Congratulations to Wolf right now. I mean, yeah.
I think this is. He actually put a really great run. He got a sub 33, 30 to 41 longest time, which is, I believe. Let me think about it. I think it's 42 actually. It's not that hard actually. 42 seconds behind his PB and the world record in the category. There are a lot of fights that can go wrong in low percent. So staying like below that 33-minute mark is really great in low percent. Rigi is about to finish the King Dice, and he's on 1 HP as well. So let's see if Rigi's gonna make it, and can I get some hype for, Rigi and the runners. It's not over yet. I guess we have to see on like, the loadless times for Luigi, but it seems like that one death on Venerable might give the win to Wolf. Luigi with a clutch, and we can see, as he's about to say yes, what will happen now.
Alright guys, so we're heading over to the end of the tournament. Just a no separating us from the end of the tournament right now from Luigi. I mean, a just. Will he fight the devil just for the poggers?
Maybe he fights the devil? Question mark?
Oh no.
We'll see what. Alright.
But like, yeah, I take your deal, devil.
And the longest time is 33 minutes and 36 seconds for Luigi. That one death pretty much puts them like at the same time, more or less. Like if you take out that one death, but both of them had a really impressive time. I do have to say, we might have both of them now for you guys. Ladies and gentlemen, Dino, can you say it? Do we have like a...
So, officially, congratulations to SPD Wolf, guys. Everybody give some GG, some PogChamp, something for our very first champion of the biggest tournament so far. I think Luigi was the champion of the first one, and now Wolf was the champion of the second one.
Yes, on the tournament that we have on March, Luigi was the winner. SPD Wolf now gets the victory in the grand final of the Cuphead weekly races, the bracket stage that we have. Both of them, though, I have to say, were exceptional throughout the weekly races. Luigi was phenomenal, I have to say. Like, he pulled out the most victories in the weekly races. I think he had 4 out of the 9 categories that we have. So, and a performance like this is pretty impressive.
Which is also insane. So also give it up at PogChamp some GG, and also for Luigi, he definitely did an amazing tournament, and 2 unfortunate deaths cost him the second place here in the last one, but it's no easy task to have reached all the way to the grand finals in this tournament. Like, we certainly, I think we saw like maybe first and second place of runners right now overall in Cuphead. Of course, like Caliva and U2C and Jason and many other runners are like super good, but I think we definitely saw like first and second place right now.
Definitely.
In an amazing grand final. So congratulations to both of you. I don't know if we're gonna be having any of them for any final words.
I mean, we are here.
And I'm here as well.
Oh, you're already here.
we got the best Cuphead boys right here for gentlemen. Like, GG guys. Like, both races were actually extremely great to watch. Like, you guys pull out an incredible performance, and Luigi, I do have to say, you were on like an insane pace in the first race. You know, even in this race, I have to say you were on an insane pace, and you know your desire to push though, because you know your opponent is an exceptional opponent. You know, caused those unfortunate deaths. But at the same time, you know that's Cuphead racing.
Yeah, I think that's actually true. I think I played a little bit more risky and more YOLO in some fights than normal because you know, when you know you're playing versus the probably one of the best players right now, you just know you cannot lose any time. So you're trying to not play safe. You're trying just to do everything perfectly, and sometimes mistakes like that can happen. And you know, one mistake in Cuphead can mean like whole minutes to lose. So yeah, that's exactly what happened in this race. Even though I still think that was a good performance, as you said, there was just too many mistakes, which make me lose. But GG anyways. Also, Wolf make an amazing job. I believe he has a deathless on the both races, right?
Yes, I was deathless on both races. I tried to go for slightly safer strats than I would normally use on like world record attempts, which is like the most optimal thing to do in races. But I was fine with my performance in All Bosses Legacy. But what I did with low percent, I didn't have any deaths, but I ended up 42 seconds behind my PB. I think I ended up playing too safe on low percent. And if you didn't have a death, you would have easily won this one. Well, All Bosses Legacy was more up in the air.
Yeah, the All Bosses Legacy was just like, you know how I reacted on the race shot, but man, I was so, let's call it salty. I was just too salty.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
Some people who watch my stream know how it works, and I'm trying to get that sub 24. I'm just like, after losing a good run, which could be it, I just cannot play anymore. And just by accident, it's actually happened on the race. I was on the sub 24 pace, which get killed, I believe, after the B, which was, I just was really sad because the platforms and everything, that's just too much. So I was just like, man, I just sub 24. But world record is still possible. And after that, I get killed by the Captain Freaker build. So yeah, I just get freaked by him, and yeah. I was in that mood. I was able to play anymore, but well, you know, this is the race, and so I cannot stop here. So I try my best, but I think that mood from the first race actually pulled me down the low percent. Actually, not really. I think there was just too many mistakes. It's not like my mood. Yeah, but yeah, that first race, I'm just bleh. That could be better.
I mean, you know, All Bosses Legacy. I think I said it like the beginning of the race. It is like the most optimized category in Cuphead, and it's a really weird category to race. Like from all the categories that so far, I think that, you know, even though it's like my in brackets main category, I feel like it's so unpredictable, you know, because we're gonna be doing the risky strats, and we know that in a race sometimes it doesn't work well.
Yeah, exactly. This is the Cuphead. Everything can happen. And again, to get sub 24, you need to get almost perfectly everything. So, you know, one mistake or one bad energy can screw up everything. So, yeah, that's one of those cases. And then I died. Happens.
And yeah, of course, you know, to get more about like the of the weekly races, Wolf, like, how do you feel overall? Like in this series, like, how do you feel before the races? How do you feel now? You have like a vacation coming up, like everything lines up perfectly, I guess, right?
Like before the weekly races or before the bracket?
Before, let's just say before this grand final.
Oh, okay. I was just in a mood. I was here to have fun, to be honest. I wasn't terribly concerned with the results, and I think that ended up actually, you know, helping me with this race because, of course, if you're nervous before a race, it's much more likely that you will make mistakes. That will mess up somewhere. So I think that ended up helping me. You know, I wasn't as nervous. Like against Kaleva, I kind of cared about winning because I wanted to get into grand finals against either Luigi or Jason. I really wanted to face them. But here, I was much more relaxed. Well, nah, okay, go ahead.
Oh, I was about to say that if I'm not mistaken, the weekly races were your first ever races, right? In speedrunning?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, and as someone who hasn't raced before, how do you enjoy the races?
They're fun for sure. I think one of the things I never had like the restream open, so I never really knew how far ahead or behind my opponent was. And so it kind of has this blind experience. I'm gonna get this run, and I hope that's good enough to beat my opponent. But I think maybe like a better experience would be to be like in a call with someone, hearing if they've made a mistake, if they've not, if they're lying about something. That would be like a much better experience maybe than what I had. But overall, they're really fun. It's not just about you versus the game; it's actually you versus people.
PvP speedrun. I guess, yeah. Well, guys, any like last thoughts before we end those like 3 months of like preparation and amazing races? Like, how do you guys enjoy this overall experience? Now, let's begin with Luigi. Since
And we'll do it again.
You would definitely do it again.
Of course, the races are great. I mean, why are you asking really? Yeah, this is really fun to play, and every time you're racing versus others, and what you wanted to say?
I actually didn't hear you. That's why. I repeat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, I say it. I really enjoy the races. It's not always about winning. It's all about having fun. And I'm not gonna lie. Other than that, I lose sub 24. I actually have fun. So it's nothing like bad about the races. In my case, the only bad moment on the races is when you actually on the world record place, because you're kind of forgetting that you're racing and you're just focusing on that world record place, and then you lose it, you're kind of disappointed because oh man, I lose the world record place on the race. That could be so insane. But other than that, I really enjoy those races, and I wouldn't mind another tournament or something like that. So that was an amazing experience. Once again, I'm glad you pulled it off again, guys. That was really long 3 weeks. Oh my god, 3 months. So again, GG to everyone, mostly to the Wolf for winning this tournament. And again, thank you, Dino, for organizing this amazing career stream you're watching right now, guys, on the stream, and to C Plus and others for commentary. And GG again.
Well, I just wanna. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, SPD Wolf. I'm gonna go.
Yeah, I don't want to ramble too much. I just want to say I had a blast. This was amazing.
Well, before I let 2C for the final words, I want to thank you, everybody. 2C, of course, for the organization, everybody for participating, for watching, for being with us week after week. I know sometimes it takes time from your Saturday, your Sunday, but I definitely had a lot of fun. I definitely enjoyed a lot of these races. I'm definitely going to miss them. But, well, who knows? I mean, there's a lot of Cuphead yet. This is just the first year of Cuphead. We're going to have a DLC next year, and I'm sure we're going to be seeing a lot of wonderful stuff happening in the Cuphead speedrunning scene. So for now, I just got to say thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining, for tuning in. And, well, I'll leave 2C for some final words here, since he was the mastermind behind all of this.
Yeah, of course I want to congratulate everyone, congratulate Wolf for the big victory, but obviously thank everyone for participating in weekly races, and of course the review. It was really nice to see that people enjoyed those races, and seeing people enjoy the races will to make similar events, right? Let's pull some really interesting stats and say that in the 9 weekly, we had 6 different winners. And that is pretty crazy to know that, there is not just one dominant player, but, in a race, many people can shine, I suppose. Another fun fact is that we used everything in the game, all the weapons, all the charms, all the supers. If we include the bingo race, I guess that made Super Art 1 and 2 and the Chaser, I guess, being used. That helped out. Oh, I actually forgot. Pea Sugar, I guess. No one used that. So I guess Pea Sugar didn't get any love for this one. But we had a lot of fun. This is not going to be the end, though, guys, because who knows? Maybe we have something in store for fall of 2018. I'm not going to say which month. I'm just going to say fall of 2018 and just say get you hyped for something big that is coming up.
Ooh.
For that I say bye bye to everyone, and I hope I see you then on another big event that we're gonna have. Bye bye.
See you guys next time.
It's nice to rest your eyes and maybe go outside. Grab a book and get some air. So what are you waiting for? Why not take a quick break? Tune the radio. There's chores to do, there's leaves to rake. Strum the old banjo. You can practice your Lindy Hop. And maybe later sing with your barbershop. Why not take a little quick break and come back for more? Or then come back for more. Or please come back for more.